Thank you so much, Nancy. Good afternoon, and thank you everyone for taking time to hear from us today. As Nancy mentioned, my name is Kyan Camus, and I serve as the Executive Director of the Tulsa Authority for Economic Opportunity. Formed in July of last year through the effective merger of 5 formerly separate public entities, TAYU is the lead economic and community development entity for the city of Tulsa. From our founding, we have been focused on creating critical connections across our work as we seek to reduce inequality and racial disparities. And Jen, you can switch to the next slide. We recognize that in order to do this, we must focus on the region's economic base. Tulsa's longtime industry base, rooted in our status as the former oil capital of the world, our strength as one of the leading aviation and aerospace hubs, and our legacy as a city that makes things, faces a multitude of disruptive forces that will define the next 100 years and our short and long-term economic success. At the same time, we are tackling the injustices of our past, deliberately reshaping the institutions that lead the region's community and economic development work around a commitment to reduce and eliminate economic disparities, and partnering with our tribal counterparts as we work in a unique environment where tribal, municipal, and all levels of government must cooperate for success while leveraging our nationally known philanthropic resources. We know that current economic inequities, which have been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic and resulting economic crisis, coupled with the paradigm shifts of our legacy industry space, result in a mandate that means we must act now or risk a decline into economic insignificance. Next slide, and I'll let Jen, you take it from there.
Hey team, Jennifer Hankins. I'm our head of partnerships here at Tulsa Innovation Labs. We are a tech-led economic development organization here in the Tulsa region. And so just wanted to table set here, recognizing that a lot of regions are really gunning for the advanced mobility industry. Our approach, what we're seeking to do here, and Kyan touched on this, is really connecting our legacy assets here in the region to build a next gen cluster. We believe as a coalition that if we can successfully create an innovation pipeline, develop an attractive workforce, build a community of academic partners and philanthropy across the region, and then of course engaging and attracting employers, that we will really have a holistic approach to building this cluster right here in the heart of America. I'll talk a little bit about our right to win. So why Tulsa and why now? So again, realizing that this is a big, broad behemoth industry, we in Tulsa are really focusing on areas that we have a strong right to win in. We believe that exists at the intersection of advanced mobility, ground mobility, the intersection of kind of EVs, that traditional language, advanced batteries, and advanced aerial mobility. What we're really seeking to do through this application is as Kyan mentioned, really lean into the tension of our past and use our existing industry base to build something of the future. We're really proud that of the assets that you see listed here on the screen, that we can have equitable outcomes as we build this. Some of the things we're most proud of that we submitted in this application, nearly 30,000 new jobs created. Those jobs created being 37% higher than the average wage for new jobs in our state. And then most impressively, that nearly 50% of those new jobs can be obtained by Tulsans without a formal 2-year or 4-year degree. So we're really proud to say that through traditional manufacturing of new component parts, really pulling on our legacy strengths for MRO in the aerospace industry, leveraging our existing university partners, and of course, really leaning into tribal partners will really help us set the table for success. A few things here in Tulsa that are not replicable anywhere else across the country that can really help us. Geography, as it relates to advanced aerial mobility, we have more flying days available than any other geography in the country. Our beyond visual line of sight testing facility that we seek to build in partnership with Osage Nation and Oklahoma State University will be one of 2 BVLOS corridors that exists in America, and that would sit at the urban-rural divide. So as we think about this industry growing, thinking, okay, it's great to test and play and build your components here in the rural environment, but how do we deploy those technologies also in the urban environment? So we seek to do that here in Tulsa. So all of that to say, not trying to create an entirely new industry here in Tulsa. What we really are excited about this opportunity helping us do is leverage existing assets, tie them together in a strategic, narrow focus, and really de-risk the ability for this investment to drive the outcomes that we collectively seek.
So one of the things that we really think is that makes our application unique is the partnerships that we bring and how we're approaching economic development around equity. EDA and the Biden administration have oriented their economic growth agenda around a framework that is designed to ensure a more equitable recovery. While many cities have used their application to develop an approach that is aligned with this mission, Tulsa is unique in the fact that we have already aligned our major economic and community development efforts around this goal. From the Tulsa Authority for Economic Opportunity, which was explicitly designed from its founding to address racial inequalities in Tulsa, to Tulsa Innovation Labs, who Jen is with, which recently released a national framework around equitable growth for mid-sized cities, we are uniquely positioned to serve as a model for other cities and regions as EDA seeks to build a broader community of practice around equitable growth and development.